Okay. When I was 6, I was terrified of monsters. There's this one in my house that would make hooting noises around 1 a.m. exactly like the sound of gas heating in an old house. And whenever I heard it, I would either cower into my ironclad bed sheets or sprint down the hall to knock quietly on my parents' door and whimper until they let me in. Years later, I learned that these monsters were mine more than anything, bred out of a mix of insomnia, allergies, and the creaks of an old home. But I learned to believe in monsters again when I learned the story of my grandpa. This is the story of a man named Courtney. Courtney was a traveling preacher's son whose family always had enough for food but no fun, and clothes but only used ones. Courtney's monsters were empty wallets and bare Christmas trees, full churches but dry collection baskets. So instead of being a priest, Courtney became a pharmacist. Gone were the days of preaching salvation to farmers. Now Courtney preached the gospels of capitalism and the U.S. medical system.
Amen.
Collection baskets, once empty, were now filled with aspirin in tens, Sudafed in hundreds, chemo and thousands. And Courtney was successful. He bought the pharmacy he clerked for after 10 years and bought a second one soon after. He got a good Christian wife, had happy kids, took them on getaways to Colorado ski resorts and Caribbean seaports. He'd always bring back these super touristy mugs for his grandkids. Courtney was a capitalism case study, a conqueror capturing life by the horns and riding it up the socioeconomic ladder. And as Courtney's bank account grew digits, he grew more religious, donating hundreds of thousands to his house of worship. The problem rose when a sharp-eyed clerk at a drug manufacturer noticed that Courtney was selling 3 times the AIDS treatments he was buying. You know how in Scooby-Doo, the gang would split up and search for clues and eventually discover that the ghost was just the janitor or some dude who ran the water slide? Pull off the mask, it's just a regular guy. But Courtney, they pulled off the mask of a regular guy and found something insidious inside. Courtney would take an intravenous drug, say chemo treatments, and dilute it between 3 or more other doses. 3, that meant giving a beloved mother just 3% of the active ingredients as she died from breast cancer. It wasn't even strategic. Courtney diluted hundreds of thousands of doses for 4,200 patients for 72 types of drugs for the benefit of one person, himself. Courtney, at least their lives went to worthy causes. 3-story white picket suburban house, 5-star resort stay by the ocean, a church to hold 1,000, and a grave to hold more. Courtney was a monster. But Courtney wasn't my grandpa. My grandpa was Thomas Matthew Carroll. Instead of capitalism and greed, he preached the gospels of kindness and service. He was the kind of guy who kept delivering meals to the seniors in his neighborhood, even as he aged to 55. The kind of guy who hosted all the potluck dinners packed in his tiny house. The kind of guy who was stern, but taught his kids to make all the terrible puns. The kind of dad who was a hero to my mom. But this is all secondhand. I never met him. When he was diagnosed with bone cancer, the doctor wasn't worried. It's perfectly treatable, they said. He'll be right as rain in a few months. His life and love were exponential. His death was linear. And only years later would we learn why. So yeah, I believe in monsters. The monster killed my grandpa.